Hey, have you ever noticed how someone can wear their faith like a badge, but act like differently? They're complete opposite when they're actually, in their behavior, whether that's religion or spirituality or even the so-called conscious community. Hypocrisy, it just seems to be showing up everywhere. So I think we should pull back the curtain on that today and see how we not fall into that trap ourselves.
And it's funny because the stars this week, they're not letting us hide from that mismatch between what we say and what we do. Um, Mercury's finally clearing its shadow in Leo, and clarity and communication, they're just back on the table. So there's no excuses left for fuzzy messaging. So this week, from high heels to happy feels, we are digging in to the hypocrisy in spirituality when your belief doesn't match your behavior. And I'm going to jump right in with this and just name the elephant because I'm pissed,
Yeah, let's let's go for it.
right? The mega churches.
Ugh.
I mean, oh, give me your money, tithe, give this, do that, and do this, but let me buy my $500 million thing and go fly around in my private jet or two and go on my book tour and all of that. But could you donate more? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, there's like songs about the faith to the neon church,
yes,
and that's
exactly.
absolutely what our mega churches have turned into.
Simon and Garfunkel, that's exactly right. And it's disgusting. And then we have these conservative movements, right? Where and all the performative platforms that are going on. So they go out and they wear their cross, and I'm a good Christian, and I'm a good Christian. You and I have both read the Bible. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure Christ gave and gave and gave, and he didn't expect anything in return, and followed the commandments and did those things. And it's like I look at the hypocrisy of these people, and I'm nauseated. Not
It is nauseating because like you go to church on Sunday and you maybe volunteer, which is great. I think everybody should volunteer. They should be in service to others. But
yes,
that's all that public piety. And like when you are in private, that is not who you are. You're you're greedy and you're angry and you're
right? Or you're sitting here telling everybody, "Oh, y- I'm totally me and my husband and in your relationship, and you shouldn't do this, and a female and a male, and God says, and this kind of thing." And at the same time, they're home having affairs. They're secretly gay, which just come out, just come
right.
out,
And that's like the thing is nobody, we want to get to a society where nobody cares who you love.
right?
Nobody care like you get to be completely sovereign and no one gets to tell you what you do with your body, who you love, like
Yes.
none of that.
What your faith is,
What yeah, what
whatever
your
that
faith
is,
is.
and I mean, it makes me so the greed, the anger, it is pure BS. It's such hypocrisy. And
It
I'm like,
is, but let's flip it on the other angle though, because then we have like the spiritual wellness industry, which I don't necessarily think that we're in the spiritual I don't know where I would put immersive spirit. We want everybody to live their soul and
yes,
understand the energies that are in the world that help you do that because that's just helpful to know. But there's people in this industry that are preaching the love and the light, but then they gossip and they gatekeep and they exploit and they're the guru and um it's just it's nauseating because when you come from a place where you just really want to help people and you come across other folks and you know them maybe in private and it's like it's hard to watch. It's I don't even know how to express myself because I'm not saying names. I'm not that's not what we're doing this for. We're not naming names.
but it's
Um
annoying, right? It's like the coexist. I mean, driving because I'm clearly in a hotel room. Um, and I see coexist stickers on cars, and most people, it's like, and it's kind of like, honk if you love Jesus. coexist, anything that's got any kind of faith base to it. And all of us, and then they're flipping off or they're honking or they're speeding by and glaring at you and all this. You're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, love the neighbor.
Right? It's like, do you remember what bumper stickers you have? And sometimes I have to remind myself, it's like, okay, what's it say on my car? And I'm like, oh, my plates. Yeah. Nope.
Wicked.
Say exactly what they are. Wicked. Here we come. So, yeah. But uh, I'm just saying that if you're going to advertise that you are one way, then be that way. Just be
Right.
honest.
If you want plates like stuff where you're witchy, then you get to be a little wicked.
Right? Well, oh, there's my dog. Oh, nice. She's burped. And the Wicked's a little play on the Wild Child from Kenny Chesney as well. But yeah,
Well, right, right.
they're a little mix in there. But yes, it's yeah, just be who you are, right? Speak to it, own it, do that. And it's funny because the moon went from Libra. Okay, you stop that. Stop it. And which calling out that imbalance, right? And we are
That's
now
what it's going to be good for this week is calling out imbalance, right? That's why we're
exactly
like jumping into
when the
this.
moon goes into Libra. Yeah, because the moon's in Virgo. And so yeah, it's going to call out that imbalance over the 25th, 26th time frame, somewhere in there. We have
Right.
Venus entering Leo. So that's a spotlight on love, big time. Because Leo,
And how we actually act.
right, because Leo is all about being bold and taking action, and Venus is love and
And
self-love.
that center stage and like yeah. Oh.
Exactly, exactly. But then you've got Venus opposing Pluto on the 26th. That's power
Ooh.
struggles in your relationships. And you you have to expose what's underneath. And that's it's a surface thing, right? Does the underneath match what we're seeing on the surface? I mean, is it totally a facade?
Well,
And
and I love this astrology for this week because like this topic, maybe flavors of this topic come up for us not frequently, but frequently enough to where like this is a bothersome, but I think it's a societal thing.
yeah.
I really hope the astrology of this week, like really people sit back and sit in the energy and they shine a light on themselves and accept their piece of the hypocrisy. And I'm not saying that I'm never in that, you
We all
know.
do it. We all
Yeah,
do it.
I'm
But it's
not preaching, but
but the difference is owning it.
right.
I mean, that's the difference, right? I mean, if I am a little neurotic on the road, I'll be the first one to wave and smile at that person at the light and be like, sorry, you know,
Right.
because lost my cool. But that's if I get to see him again. If not, I get to kick myself for it because I'm thinking, okay, really, was that necessary? Did it solve anything? Did you do anything? I, what? It makes you feel better? It doesn't even make you feel better. Why? Why? Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of reasons that hypocrisy really hurts because like you're talking about your own self-guilt and like yeah, when you can't catch up and be like I'm an asshole, I'm sorry, or excuse me. I shouldn't
Right.
say it on a podcast. I'm a jerk and I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But if you don't, like you said, if you don't catch up, then, you know,
Well, yeah.
you got guilt, you got shame, you got it all going on.
Well, and it creates distrust. I mean, it hurts because now you distrust what you're hearing from other people because you're like, well, you say this, but you do this. I mean, we have a leader in place right now who is the epitome of hypocrisy. And, oh, nope, diversion over here, diversion over here, diversion over here. We don't want to own anything. And so that creates distrust
Yeah,
and
no accountability.
no accountability. And so it's the same thing in your spirituality. If you're saying one thing and doing another, why would I believe you about anything else? I mean, faith is the everything to many, many, many people. And so if you're telling me that you believe in this, this, and this, and you practice this, this, and this, and then I find out, you go home and you're totally opposite, why would I have any faith in what you say about anything else?
Which I think is the big rub in spirituality because there are so many people who I feel I'm on the same page with. And then, like, if we're at an event or something, or we're co-presenting or something that we're doing together, and then you talk to them offline and they are a completely different person and they represent themselves in such a way that, like, it's just a paycheck or, um, and I try not to let it get under my skin because people do it for many different reasons. And I'm not slighting anybody for any of their reasons. But be honest. Like this is not lip service. Faith, people's faith, whether that's Christian or any, and we're not going to list all of them. No matter where you are on that scale, like be honest with who you're talking with, especially when you're trusted.
Totally. Totally. I mean, we've got a few points, right? Why it hurts so much. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a mask. You talked about a lot of those. And really, if you think about it, so this goes into the astrology for this coming week again, because on the 27th, 28th, the moon in Libra will be opposing Chiron. Chiron's
Mm.
a wounded healer, right? So when wounds are triggered, when people don't walk their talk, and Libra's looking for that balance. And so when you're sitting there and saying, okay, how,
Wounded healer out of balance. That is
right? And that's exactly
powerful.
what it is. That's what it is. And then your moon's entering Scorpio,
Hmm.
once it follows through from Libra, because it's the end of the week. It's every like 2.5 days that moon shifts. So now we're
Right.
seeing that intensity. And you see behind the mask because you're seeing, Scorpio's very secretive, but the moon's exposing your internals. And then the Neptune sextile Uranus, that's all about shaking the illusions and truth surfacing in hugely unexpected ways. And
Which,
yeah,
like, everybody's going to be so edgy this week. Um, like, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and hypocrisy does hurt. And I think, like, the accountability and when you take your space and you accept who you are and how you treat others, like, people are new to faith, maybe new to spirituality, maybe new to a group. And being, yeah, I'm just so lost for words because I get so wound up about it. But when you have newcomers to, okay, so let's say we had a newcomer to our community
yeah,
and we're being hypocrisy is our thing. And we're saying one thing and then like we talk to them one off and we're completely different people when we talk to them. Then they're going to feel judged or unwelcome or because that's not what they came for.
right.
They came for like the community that we said we have. And then we turn around and it's like, no, we're not like that at all. So, I mean, it really does hurt people and it distracts you from self-awareness and your soul's alignment. And like, it's so messy. So, I really hope that the messy astrology we're about to go through, like, kicks us in the butt a little bit.
I agree. I agree because I you always hope you get to see karma in action with people, and once in a while you'll get to see that person that flew by you get pulled over for the speeding ticket and you're like, hurrah! Or,
Right. Then you call it karma.
but at the same time, 90% of the time we don't get to see it. And so thinking of like a new member to the community, if we weren't like walking the walk or actually, and I mean, everybody has bad days. Everybody's got days where it's like, okay, not today. Today is a down day for me because I'm just not communicating very well. But you're honest about it. And
Right.
it's like, cool, I respect that because I've had those days. But when you just fake it and you just eventually you're found out. And all I can hope for is that these people are found out. They're found out. They're exposed one way or another, right? Whether it's publicly because of just who they are publicly, whether it's by the community that they're doing this to, and their world kind of implodes on them because I think sometimes some forced shadow work, that forced mirror work, there it was, folks. Sorry, shadow work, but yeah,
Shadow work.
but it's different, right? Because this is we're
Right.
talking about when you are forced to turn around and look in the mirror and forced to say, what what is it that I did? What did I say? What was I saying? And why? Why would I act so differently? And, do you ever own that? Do you ever like have a little guilt? Do you ever own the things that you do? I don't know. It makes me crazy.
It does. And I think it's really important though, like we're getting down to kind of the bones of what this is because we talk about hypocrisy, we talk about like all of those things previously, but really what we're getting down to is we're kind of being astrologically challenged. Like everybody's going to kind of face this light this week. And hopefully everybody kind of accepts it as the shadow work because we wrote down some examples because we knew this was going to be
Because
um,
we knew we'd
a
go
tough
crazy.
topic to get through. But I'm really hoping that everybody kind of takes an opportunity, including myself.
We're
I'm no
not
special
immune.
angel,
Oh God, no.
to really like step back and say, do I preach forgiveness and hold grudges? I know I do that
Yeah.
because forgiveness is like, ultimately that's letting yourself free. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, you know?
And it's so true. And forgiveness is the hardest, but forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you.
I totally understand that, but
Right?
my
You just
my
said it.
little mind in the back is going, "Oh, I've
Right?
got choice words."
But man, it's so much more fun to hold the grudge. It's so much fun to just talk behind somebody's back.
Right?
Right?
And which is exactly what like I talking behind somebody's back is like that is my worst. Like I dump friends for that. Like
Oh yeah.
not even second chances. Like nope, we're done.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they come
yeah,
in stripes. If you're
right.
going to do it once, unless you're going to come to me and apologize and say, "Hey, I was talking behind your back," and own it and do something with it and work on it, because everybody knows we all need improvement. But
Yeah,
that
for sure.
the love and light talk, and then you talk trash about people behind the closed doors.
Uh-huh.
You can't go out and be like talking to people, because we have intimate conversations with our members, with community, with our families. You don't get to turn around and just talk smack with them, and we all do it. I mean, I'll be the first to admit there's certain family members where you're like, say things, but you know what? I think about it and go, would I say this to their face? Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Well,
Oh no. Most of the things we say, I think I'd say to their face.
And you know what? Ever since like I would say probably my mid 30s, late 30s, I really started trying to watch that. Like
Yes,
if I'm not willing to say it directly to you, I probably won't say it behind you. And
exactly.
that's where I got on my high horse about do not talk behind my back.
Exactly. I don't need your gossipy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I even do that at work. If the gossip and the rumor mills are going on, I'm going right to the VP in her corporate day job. And I'm like, hey, yo, do you know this is being talked about? What's up? You might need to clarify, because people are
Right.
freaked
But
out.
that's the safest way out for everybody. If the truth is out there, if everything is kind of
Right?
highlighted, then there's nobody that's going to be hurt by it. Everybody has their light on.
Yes. Every That's just it. And I know this is off topic. It'll surface back to hypocrisy. But if you just tell the truth to begin with, you don't have to remember what story
Oh,
you told to somebody.
so true.
You don't have to try and keep your story straight. You don't have to be like, what did I tell this person? What did I tell? I told you the truth. So whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, our just as a little side note, our dad was an officer of the law when we were younger. And
And
he
retired.
retired from that industry, but he was very good at keeping track of things because seriously, that's like Steph and I learned really young. You just be honest straight up front, or you're going to be in so much more trouble.
Right? That was not worth the battle, because the fact
No.
mom and dad knew all of it. And it was just like, what were you doing? I was at a party. Why'd you say you were
Right?
going to be at a friend's? Because I really wanted to go to the party. And yeah,
Or
truth always
yeah, or maybe
prevailed.
you
It
need to
had
see
to, because,
somebody because of the amount you lie to me. I'm like,
right?
oh, okay.
Yep. Grounding lasts longer. Okay.
Right? On it. Okay, I got it.
Sometimes they were like, okay, you know what? No more truth. And the older we get and the more stories they hear, they're like, look, lighten up on the truth. We don't need to know everything you did during your high school and college years.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna bring us back to topic.
Thank you.
We're gonna really kick it. Yeah, our parents might listen to this. Um, a group that not a group, a thing. People that really irritate me that claim abundance, like especially people who teach manifesting or quantum, like all of the different things that go behind manifesting. So they claim that abundance mindset and they shame others for having money struggles.
Oh yeah.
That really gets my goat
Oh.
because
Mhm.
like how are you helping anybody?
Yep. If you're doing all these big manifestation things and talking about how you're wanting to create and help people in any capacity, in my mind, and then you're saying, oh, but the homeless shouldn't be here and the immigrant, and, and some of that's political, I understand. But at the same time, help is help. Service to others is service to others. And
Right.
y- what if that was your brother, your sister, your best friend? And would you still be as horrible of an individual? And yeah, I totally agree. That's disgusting.
Well, and even okay, so there's that level of it. And then another way to look at it is someone who is out there like explaining how to manifest and then like they don't do it themselves or they can't or like they don't practice what they preach on either level. So they're not generous to anybody and they're not walking the talk.
Yes.
Like both of those things would just really get me.
Yes. Yes. And we already talked about the whole mega churches. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's public prayer in general. Any kind of any faith. If you are publicly and and I get that there are the cafeteria, the submariners of church, you pop in for the major holidays and that kind of thing. I mean, we did it a lot of our lives too. But it is
Yeah, your Periscope's up. It's a holiday. I'm here.
right. We're here,
I
but
like the cafeteria style though.
it
That's kind
is
of what we live now, but
right. But it's just kind of one of those. But are you actually practicing it when you leave? I mean, you feel all good and you're all squishy and oh my gosh, I should come more often and this feels so great and da 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 da. And then you get in your car, you're not even out of the parking lot, and you're like, oh my God, this bleep 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 won't get beep beep beeper. And you're well, that was
you were
fast.
blocking my view of the band at church.
Right. Right. God. You're just
Yeah.
like, okay, could you have at least waited till you got home before you started going crazy? Yeah,
Right. And when you do that, you're gossiping and you're like all everything bad is happening and you're teaching your family that same behavior is okay. Like it's just expanding it. So anybody, if we all just own our stuff and shine a light on our own stuff, we can make the world such a better place.
oh my gosh, it's so true. Because
Yeah.
it is programming. And so
Mhm.
you learn from the people that you love, and you watch their behavior and think that that's okay. And it's like, but it's not. And until somebody else comes along and goes, we just left church. How about, or synagogue or, mass or whatever. But
Let's just kick it down a gear though.
right, just calm. Just
Whatever
be
we're
like,
doing.
you know what? I think I'll just change the radio station and
Right.
let's chill. Let's turn off the radio and look at the flowers. Let's do this. Let's something. I don't know.
Well, and I think that's another like um the last example we had talked about was using spirituality as a weapon. Like you're not
Yes,
vibrating high enough for me. And I think we're kind of leading into that conversation anyway, because if you think like you're so far above it all, then you should behave so other people can follow your example, but you shouldn't shame anybody for where they're at either.
agreed. Agreed. And the astrology tie-in on this is you. It's because so when that moon is in Scorpio, right? August 29th. It will be square Mercury in Leo, which is squares a friction point, right? So there's always,
Ew.
so your words aren't lining up with your actions because Mercury is all about your communication. Leo is all about being bold. Scorpio and the moon are more introspective, secretive, quiet. Words aren't lining up. And this is an excellent time to be calling out that performative speech. It's it's the perfect timing for it to be
And
like,
that's next Friday.
yep,
So
I
that's a very touchy day.
uh-huh. You're going to hear a lot of garbage. And it's a very good time, whether it's your socials, whether it's that person that is saying it to your face, whatever it might be, to be like, I call BS. I'm going to call you on that one because yeah, you're not
Yeah.
telling me the truth. And it doesn't mean every conversation. I mean, we
Well,
don't
no, and no one's
know.
perfect, and no one walks. Yeah.
No. And people sometimes will say things because they want to give a white lie. They're trying to be kind. They're doing something out of they think is kindness. We all have done that. And sometimes that hurts just as bad. So, yeah.
Well, even when I talk to my kids are older now, and they have had conversations with other people, and they're like, parents lie all the time, and I said, yeah, they do, because they're getting their children through the day in the safest way possible without without like derailing the day because everybody is so busy now. And he's like, well, tell me a white lie that you did. And I was like, that if we're not out of the house in the next 5 minutes, mom's gonna miss her meeting.
Uh-huh.
It gave you a sense of urgency for caring for me empathetically, that it's important that mom has to get to her meeting too, so everybody's got to be on time. I didn't really have a meeting.
Right?
But and I would have later in the day. I'm not lying about because I have meetings all day long. But that's when I used to go in an office, it was like, guys, we got to get going. Your mom's going to be late.
Yeah.
It's not just you. So that yeah, those and I was like, and those just come out of parents' mouths like that's just how it is. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
totally went.
No, but it's true. It's true. And I think that's because some of, what feels like surface level, nothing surface level is going to get away untouched. That's your
Right.
Scorpio. That Scorpio energy and just digging in, nothing surface level is untouched. And I think this week's going to be really representative of that. But let's
Yeah,
move
we're going to
on.
be
Let's
going
talk
through it,
about what's that?
and we're going to be going through it.
Oh my God. Aren't we though? Let's do something positive and say 5 ways that we can avoid becoming that hypocrite because you and I talked about this beforehand.
Yeah, and I think we should post these in the show notes.
Okay, perfect.
So, because everybody should work on this and like write them down and work through this if you can, if you so accept this challenge.
Right?
But daily self-check, asking yourself, am I practicing what I preach?
That'd be a killer bumper sticker. Are you practicing what you preach?
Yeah, but like that's almost, is somebody going to take
I
that in a
know
shameful way, guilt
it sounds
way?
passive aggressive. I
It
know.
kind of does. If you're self-reflecting, yeah, if you're saying that to somebody else, it's a little a little edgy.
That's true. That's true. But it would
Ay,
be interesting. Ah, second one we had, live your values in small moments. How you drive, how you tip and treat your wait staff. I mean, every little moment that you're involved in, how you have those conversations with your kids in those few moments that you're driving them to school.
yeah. How
Live
you
that
walk down
value.
the path, how you talk to the trees, how like
Right. Exactly. How you acknowledge your own faith, right? In those few moments that you are talking your gratitudes, whether you're meditating, you're talking to spirit, source, universe, great spirit, God. I mean, wherever you are, eh, live the value of those small moments. I think it's important.
yeah. The third one we came up with was keep humility alive.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just remember that everybody is still here just to have experience. We're all learning from one another. We're all developing on our path. There might be people are ascending, who people who are don't really fully understand it yet. But just remember that everybody is still learning. It's still driving on their experience.
Big time. And you got to be honest about your struggles. And that's why we had that as number four. Because when you share where you're falling short, when you share the experiences that you're going through instead of pretending, and there's always instances of fake it till you make it. I get that. But when you're pretending about your entire life, um,
When you're an Instagram story
oh,
and that's not at all who you are.
right,
Yeah.
right, and you turn that off, and all of a sudden you're somebody totally different. Yeah, just be honest. Everybody has struggles. Everyone. As Nat said, we are all here living this experience. We're here to learn those life lessons, and we're here to help teach life lessons for others. So embrace that. And if you share your struggle, somebody else might have they might have just been through it and been like, oh, I was just there. Not only do you have the empathy as somebody else, but then maybe you have their wisdom and some ways to help get you out of that. You never know.
Yeah. Be the example that your experiences allow you to be.
Maybe that's good.
Which brings us to the last one that we talked about, which is leading with compassion first. So this is it's kind of deep, and Steph and I were like, yeah, we do want to include it. If love is not seriously your motivation, then pause before you're acting. So if you're not coming from a place, and I'm not talking about like deep, intimate, sexual, whatever type love. I'm talking about if you aren't doing it from a place of love in your heart, then just stop and ask yourself, am I doing the right thing?
And it can be self-love.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good point.
I mean, it doesn't need to just be loving and being loving because somebody else is another human being. It could very much be self-love too, because that may be somebody that you just cannot deal with, but then you're honoring yourself by, and giving yourself that love by just being like compassion first, this too shall pass.
And you can tell Stephanie is the one that came up with that one. It just happened to
Well,
be that I was the
no.
one that got to read it, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad it's on there. We had a conversation about whether that was going to be something we were going to talk about after we walked through the five things we wanted to. Anyway, sorry, but
No,
she's right. Self-love. It's a self-love is a huge part of that.
yes, it is. And it's huge for the end of the week. So as we go through the end of our astrological week, the 30th and 31st, we have our moon going into Sagittarius. That's walking your truth, right? And live and be who you are, be authentic, live your philosophy. We have our first quarter moon. So where are you with your intentions as you started those in Virgo? Sorry, dog bark. Um, when you're in a hotel room, you're like, shh, shh, quiet. Ah, but let's see, where was I? Oh, your first. So that where are you with the intentions that you've set for Virgo? And is your behavior, your actions, the things you're doing for others, is that aligning with that behavior, right? Is that working? Then Mercury will trine with Chiron. Mercury, as we talked about, is communication. Chiron's that wounded healer. Your communication is
Mm.
going to help heal wounds through honesty. And so the end of the week, it's like there's some big, bold things coming. And then if you play it right, there's a lot of healing going on.
And
Because,
that's the end of the month too, and it pushes us into Labor Day. So that's a lot of healing over that.
right? And it's interesting because it goes from kind of this, are you living it, to calling somebody else out on it, to how do we heal with communication, and ties it up in a nice little bow. So it's an uphill with a, oh, okay, all right, cool. We settle down because we're being honest about it. As long as that's what we all do. So,
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna derail us too much, but living your philosophy, like if I would take that to my college philosophy teacher, I- like my mind is a little blown about that. So if if anybody's like hasn't studied philosophy, dip in a little bit because if you do live your philosophy, that's really defining who you are by defining the things that you like. That's just deep. So living your philosophy, that's some deep stuff right there.
It
So
is, but that's what we do. It's that soul-led living. And soul-led living is a nice, short, cleaner way to understand you're living your philosophy. And it's because you are living with every neuron, every cell, every part of your body just resonates with this. And if you're truly living your philosophy, there isn't anything else that's going to stop you. Calling somebody else out on the BS shouldn't be a big deal. The looking at it and saying, where do I need improvement shouldn't be a big deal. The being reflective on those moments, all of those, the helping with communicating and the healing that's going to come through that, that's just the icing on the cake.
yeah, catch yourself and course correct.
Absolutely. Good way to put it. Nicely said. Yeah.
So
Whew.
there's lots of shadow work and journaling that can be done, like um, maybe on your actions and beliefs, things that might be out of sync. The five things that we talked about that we'll put in the show notes, just getting some of those reflections out.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a good way to wrap it up. That is a good way to wrap it up. Did you have anything else to add?
No, but journal this week, folks. Do some shadow work, do
Yep.
some reflective work, because I think a lot of the astrology is really aligning, like it's going to highlight some stuff for us.
And I would say when you're doing your journaling, also think about the conversations you've had with people or what you've seen from others that you might think is not reality. And maybe this is the week to, if you're close enough or if you want to know more, maybe this is the week to challenge that and to have those conversations because that it's those healing communications where it all comes together next weekend. So, yeah.
Beautiful, brilliant.
Woo woo. All right. Well, I think we've covered everything.
Where are you out of alignment between your belief and your behavior? Take that, write that down, and just start writing.
Right? Just start writing. I think that's perfect. I don't know that there's much more to add. We will just say we'll put those five little examples and just ways to kind of do that because it's something we all need to work on. Every single one of us has moments where we've said something that we go, should I have said that? Should I have said it to that person? Should I have even said it out
No.
loud?
The answer is no,
Always
no,
no.
no.
If you've got something to say, write it in your journal and then take it outside and burn it and be like, okay, that's over. Right? There's no one else that needs to be involved in it's back to that no one else's opinions of your business. And it's that same thing. Do they
Your
really
opinion doesn't need to be known by anybody either.
exactly, exactly. Think of it in reverse. It's none of their business what your opinion is either. So it's all but it's about speaking your truth and it's about being honest. It's about living your soul-led life. It's about um not being a hypocrite. Just practice what you preach. If you really are, you know, doing this way, X, Y, and Z, then be that. Yay. Yay, you own it. But
Right.
if you're not, don't. Just be like, sometimes I'm feeling on for spirituality and sometimes not so much. Okay, cool. Well, that's cool. At least you're honest about it. People will appreciate you a whole lot more. So,
Honesty, best policy ever.
yes, yes, yes. So we'll throw a link in for the Soul Led Living because we do have that free offering for our soul map kit on
Yes.
immersive spirit living. I mean, it is leads you to immersive spirit, but we've got a separate section for it. So uh
Amazing tools. Just go check them out
just
because they're
they're
free.
free, right? They're free tools, and it's a great way to just kind of dig in and start that process. But we'll add the five little tips for avoiding hypocrisy and rechanneling it and that type of things as well. And then we'll wrap.
Well, wait, they have to like and subscribe and come back and comment how those five things helped or hurt them.
Yes,
Because
please.
I want to know. Like,
Yes,
this
yes.
is a hot topic for Steph and I all the time. So
Right?
we'll commiserate with you. We'll hold space for you, or we'll just flat out say, go get
Right?
him, man.
Yep, exactly. Go get him, Tyga. Woohoo! Yes, that's so true. Yeah, and please, please, please subscribe, like our channel. We're so grateful for you. And I think that's it. So from high heels to happy feels, I'm Natalie. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Natalie.
I'm
Really, I
so
am
tired of
Natalie.
the drive today. I'm so tired.
I'll see you
All
tomorrow.
right, from Immersive Spirit. We will see you next week and have an amazing week ahead. Remember, no hypocrisy. Just speak it. Mwah.